Hey, welcome to Global Topic Live. I'm Jim Kunkle.
And I'm Heidi Brooks.
Today, we're going to have a real content-rich program. We're going to be talking about surface preparation systems. And let's go ahead and bring on our guest, who is Mauricio Herrera, who's the president and CEO of Blasting Experts. Mauricio, welcome.
Hi, guys. Thank you for having me.
Hey, if you could do me a favor, if you could go through and cover a little bit about about Blasting Experts and what you do.
Absolutely. Well, Blasting Experts, as many people know, we are the bridge in between Latinoameríca contractors and the big manufacturers in the US. That was the main idea that we had when we started this business back in 2007. And we have been lucky and blessed to establish great relationships with the main manufacturers here in the US and one in Brazil as well. So we supply solutions for surface preparation, where since the very beginning, we start selling blasting pots and blasting cabinets. And then we got the opportunity to learn about some other important components of this industry. And then with the experience and with the performance that we have shown in the market in Latin America, big manufacturers such as Smith, the blasting pots manufacturer in Texas, such as Erwin Industries, the biggest manufacturer of steel shot and steel grid in the world, choose our company to represent them in Latin America. So what we do, we help all the big contractors in Latin America to learn and understand what is available in the market for surface preparation. Then we help them to buy the equipment. And the most important, we help them to install the equipment, learn how to use it, how to maintain it, and how to make money and be successful. So basically, that's what we do here.
Very good. Very good. You know, Mauricio, when it comes to the surface cleaning, let's say the blast cleaning of a substrate, be it concrete, be it steel, there are so many technologies and equipment and products that obviously are going to come to bear on a project. Because we could talk, I know you and I and Heidi, we could talk for probably 4 hours on a live stream about the different types of systems that are out there. Let's focus on one that's gaining a lot of popularity. I'm encountering a lot more in specification and project requirements, and that's going to be the dry blasting, and obviously that crossover when you're talking about the wet dry blasting as well. So if you could maybe go into some depth and detail about that and provide some information about those systems.
Yeah, there is a lot of information to cover, and just to show that we will be teaching some good stuff, we will test Heidi at the end to see how much she got.
I am the perfect tester too.
Okay. So yeah, absolutely. So wet blasting has been really popular for many years. I've been learning that many people knew about wet blasting more than 40 years ago. But definitely the development of new coatings, new inhibitors, and the actual standards that allow people to use all of these tools motivate good manufacturers. And now we have more than 10 big companies manufacturing wet blasting equipment in North America. And around the world, there are some others as well. And it's a great process, brings a lot of opportunities and solutions. But what we do in Blasting Experts is to explain to people what the advantages are and what the challenges are. Because wet blasting for sure will help you to reduce or remove completely that cloud of dust that you don't want in a process. And sometimes it's the worst part in a surface preparation project. You are doing dry blasting and then no one else can do anything around, right? So wet blasting in this case is a solution, but the big challenge is that now you are working with water, and we don't like water with clean surfaces, right? Because we will have flash rust. So then you need inhibitors. And then if you are working with abrasive water inhibitors, you need people better trained that really understand how to work with all of these variables. And also you need inspectors that actually understand what is allowed and what is not allowed to pass. And the equipment for wet blasting is amazing. In the last 5 years, thousands. I've seen thousands of equipment everywhere. But the challenge that the customers face is that they get the wet blasting equipment, they go to a project, and they don't get paid more. Owners, they don't know much about it. They say, I need to clean this surface, and you deal with it. And then the contractor decides to use wet blasting, and then they will have to pay for water, inhibitors, and the process is slower because you have to blast, you have to rinse, you have to dry sometimes.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's like 3 times the amount of time and work that you need for dry blasting. So it is an important thing that a contractor has to understand and decide what to do. And there are some big players in this business, dry blasting and wet blasting. And we are married with Smith, who is one of the leaders around the world. So what they did, they built a unit. Maybe you have a video.
Yeah, let me bring these bring the video up here.
Yeah.
And so we're watching here. Go ahead. You go ahead, cover this. And
absolutely. So what we are showing here is just a guy doing wet blasting, and it's beautiful because no dust. Just the speed is the same as dry blasting, and the process happens just as you do dry blasting. Then he will show dry blasting on the other side, and here we are showing both at the same time. With dry blasting, you can go a little bit faster sometimes. It depends more of the expertise of the operator. Basically, it's the same. But then what happens after is what you need to really think about. Because with dry blasting, you will be basically ready to paint. With wet blasting, you will have the flash rust. And then you will have to deal with it. Your inspector will have to test and tell you if it's acceptable or not. The supplier of the paint, usually they are very picky about it because obviously the adhesion and all the things that they need on the surface could change if they have corrosion on the surface. So those are the things that you have to keep in mind. And so these guys from Smith, they were smart, and what they did was to integrate one standard blasting pot, the most popular they have, and they put an extra system that allows the machine to do wet blasting or dry blasting. So it's a perfect combination because with that machine, the contractor will try to do as much as he can dry blasting, but in case he needs to do wet blasting, then he just moves one little button and does it.
Yeah. Yeah, there are a lot of owners, obviously, and depending on situations where you might not be able to do dry blasting, you have to go to wet blasting. But it's good to have a system like this where you can go either way, because you might be in a remote area where wet blasting is not super critical like it would be if you're close to an urban area, or if, let's say you're on a bridge or you're on some type of a structure where you want to control dust.
Yeah, and another thing that goes against wet blasting right now is that the development on abrasives has been amazing as well. So now you find abrasives that they don't produce dry silica, so they are not as dangerous for people as sand in the past that people used to have in these processes. So now you use Black Beauty, you use Garnet. There are tons of opportunities where you can do the dry blasting without those big clouds of dust and still enjoy the dry blasting process. But as you said, wet blasting definitely is used for many companies right now. And since the equipment got so popular and many people got it, they have to use it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, but it's an interesting option in the market. And yeah, we are here to help people to understand those kind of technologies.
So, looking on the aspect of, mobile systems and stuff like that, I believe that you're also, I have a video here from you regarding ADI's trailer. Would you want to go through that as well?
Yes, because when you use dry blasting, then you will have the challenge of abrasive. What to do with those big amounts of abrasive that you need. But in the market, now we have big pieces of equipment, beautiful equipment like this one, this trailer, produced by Atlantic Design, where they put together a blasting pod, a high-performance blasting pod. Then they have a pump that will do the vacuum for you. So you can have 2, 4, 6, 8 operators doing the blasting, and then 1 or 2 vacuuming all the material that they are throwing. And then the machine cleans the abrasive automatically and put it back to the blasting pod. And all the dust created is separated in another compartment. So with this kind of unit, you basically put your compressor, connect to it, and then you have 4 or 6, 8 operators to do the job. So this kind of projects are, this kind of machines are used for big projects such as storage tanks, big vessels, but depends always, the main factor is the investment, right? So people have to balance this out and say, okay, I have enough money in this project to invest in this kind of technology, or I have to just go with wet blasting. I have to go with dry blasting and an alternative abrasive. So, and those things are tough decisions for people that don't know much, right? So the important is to have all the information available to go through and make a smart decision.
So in addition to that, the other thing that I'd like to bring up is obviously blast rooms as well.
Absolutely, yeah. So when you're in a big project, you don't need to do everything on the job site. You can actually prepare those components inside, right, at your facility. So in those cases, we always advise owners to invest in a unit like this, where you have a cabinet, you have all the components, the dust collector, the reclining system, everything in it, and then you can use a steel shot and a steel grid, because that's one of the keys. Whenever you can use a steel shot or a steel grid, mostly a steel grid when you are doing hand blasting, then you will have the opportunity to reuse that material hundreds or thousands of times. So the investment on abrasive goes to really low price compared with sand or any other abrasive. So these rooms are a perfect solution for a big manufacturer who needs to prepare components before they go to install them. Absolutely.
Very good. Very good. The other topic that I'd like to cover or have you cover as well is regarding water jetting. I encounter that a lot in certain specifications, and I know in Latin America it's used a lot. Could you kind of talk a little bit about water jetting?
Absolutely. Similar to wet blasting, they have been taking advantage of new coatings, inhibitors, but this specific technology is used when you have thick layers. Let's say you have more than 20, 25 mils. And with a process like dry blasting will take forever, or sometimes it's even impossible because it really melts. When you start blasting, it melts and it's hard to remove. So those kind of opportunities is when you use water jetting. And water jetting equipment, again, there are some big manufacturers of technology here in US and also in Germany, even in Brazil, there is one as well. And we were looking for the right supplier, but we were lucky to find the Fulmer family in South Carolina, the owners of Sesco. But they did something really smart. And they had been doing something similar to blasting experts, selling technology for surface preparation. So they do understand perfectly what dry blasting is, wet blasting, and water jetting. So what they do, they offer the water jetting equipment. And you know that with water jetting, you can shoot 5K, like 5,000 PSI, 15,000 PSI, 30,000 up to 40,000 PSI. With that pressure is where you can do basically everything. You can remove whatever you want. But the challenge is that water cleans but doesn't penetrate steel, right? So you cannot create profile. So what the Aquamizer, the division for water jetting at Sesco, did was to combine dry blasting equipment, a blasting pod from Smith, with the whole pressure system, and they integrated with the water jetting equipment. So now they have a machine that if you want to do just water jetting at 30,000, 40,000 PSI, you say water jetting. But if you need to create profile, you say, let's use the injection system with the abrasive. So that's the different part we do compared with other manufacturers. So that's the plus part that we offer to our customers, to have a water jetting piece of equipment, a good one, with the injection system on it, so you can create profile.
Mauricio, when it comes to larger projects, the painting projects, how can contractors minimize the starts and stops to control proper levels of abrasive media?
Yeah, great question. That becomes sometimes like the worst part, and is when you waste more time trying to load abrasive to your blasting pods. But in the market, we have the bulk blasters, they call it. They call it the mega blasters, right? Where you can connect 4, 6, 8. I've seen Smith units that they do up to 12 blasters in a bullpack. So instead of loading small amounts of abrasive, they come with a big hopper where you just put your super bag on top of it, and then you just drop 2 tons of abrasive. Or if the unit is bigger, you load 2 or 3 or 4, whatever the operators need for the 8 hours work during the day to don't stop. So that's one option. That's when you are in an open blast. When you are inside, like in a blasting room, so those blasting rooms, the one that Jim showed before, they come with a big hopper as well. So in those cases, they don't have a big blasting unit, but they have 2 or 4 units, little blasting pods. And whenever the operator is just depressurizing the pod, they are filling up. So that time is safe there. So that's the solution that you have in the market for that question you had, Heidi. Keep throwing those tough questions, Heidi.
Well, we all know using the right type of blasting media is critical for performing surface prep. In the field, could you cover the different types of blasting media available to contractors and shops?
Absolutely. So everything goes together. And that's one of the things that when I was trying to prepare of what to say in this live, I was going through the history of our company. And one of the best things that happened to us is that we didn't have to go to the university to take classes, because we got the opportunity to get trained by the manufacturers.
Yeah.
So we got training from Kennametal to select the right nozzle. We got training from Smith to understand what you can do or you cannot do with a blasting pod and what systems are available. We learned what kind of PPU to use. We basically everything. And one of the things is that abrasive, you decide what kind of abrasive to use depending on what machine you are using, or what the specification says about pollution. I don't know, specifications about what kind of profile you can create. So there are different parameters that help you to decide that. Obviously, the first one is the profile that the quoting supplier requires.
Yeah.
So usually, let's say a typical one is in between 2 and 3 mils. So with that information, you say, okay, I can select. If I am using grid, I will go with a manual process. I will go G25, grid 25 size. If I go with Black Beauty, I will say medium size. So with the profile, you decide what size. But then with the equipment that you are using, you decide what kind you are using. If you have this trailer option that Jim showed us before,
Yes.
you will go with grid, still grid, because you will be throwing, vacuuming, cleaning, and throwing again. So you will have hundreds of times to reuse it. If you don't have those systems, then maybe you will go with Black Beauty. You will just throw it once and keep going. So it depends of what kind of equipment you have and the specifications that the owner decide for the project.
You truly are an expert.
Oh, no. That's a beginner. I feel that I need 50 more years to learn all the things that are out there, because a lot of information. Jim knows how much information is out there, so it's pretty extensive topic.
Yeah. ROI speaking, you know, a lot of these decisions are based on return on investment. Have you performed or done any financial analysis for these?
Yeah, I like that kind of question because that's what most people do. So that's what we do. So I have a good example for it, and is how to, especially for our Latin American customers, that they are used to use sand and they don't want to use a blasting pot that is certified. They just go to their good friend who is a good welder and they build a blasting pot. So instead of investing maybe $3,000, $5,000, that they ended up investing $500. So when I call them to offer my blasting pot, they say, no, Mauricio, you are offering something that is 6 times more expensive than what I can get. But then when we show the difference of it, and if you want to show that video, please, Jim, the one with the blasting pot and the metering valve.
Yes.
That little part, the one that you just show. One little difference, and you can stop the process right there. The video right there. Stop it a little bit before, right there. So we have a blasting pot that was made with, as you can see, a water valve. And then they have a T under there to get the air and then the abrasive from the blasting pot. It works. That's the problem, that it works. You can do blasting with it. The problem is that if the operator is lucky, instead of doing, let's say with a nozzle number 6, he can do maybe 1,000, 1,200 square foot. Normally, they can do that if you have the right compressor, the right dryer, the right blasting pot, and the right components. But with a machine like this, you will be lucky if you do 600 square foot. So when you do the math, 600 versus 1,000, 400 foot of work could mean 200, depending where you are and how much you are charging per square foot. But it could mean $200, $300, $500 per day. So basically, in 1 week, you can recover the investment of in one certified blasting pot instead of the one that you decide with your friend. And then safety, that's another big thing in this kind of products. The blasting pot that your friend built for you, you have the chance that will explode and will kill someone, and then you finish your everything, right? You will end up, I don't know, in jail.
Lives are invaluable.
Yeah, so if you use a certified blasting pot, you know that these companies, the manufacturers, they go through all the process. And what I like a lot is that in North America, manufacturers, they have to follow the procedures, the standards, and they cannot just come up with any solution, but it's something that is certified. And something that that video shows as well is the amount of abrasive that you can use. With a normal blasting pot built by my friend, I could spend twice the abrasive that I spend with a blasting pot that is certified. So those kind of analysis, we have detailed numbers and examples to show to us, our customers. So that's the kind of things that, we do for the return of investment.
Very good. You know, the one thing that I think before we would end this stream, we should talk about safety and talk about PPE. Would you like to go through, and I can actually, I'll bring up the clip that we have here regarding configurations.
And it's great that you include this topic in this slide, because sometimes owners, contractors, they get really excited about the equipment, abrasive and everything, but they forget about their people, the most important thing they have in their company, right? So, and PPE, luckily for everyone, there are companies that they have been developing accessories to help. And there are also standards that people have to follow. Mm-hmm. And that's a challenge we have in Latin America, but with the good information we are promoting and with the institutions around the world that they promote safety, it's a lot easier. So in these slides that Jim is showing, it's a basic standard blasting equipment. We have the compressor, the happy guy throwing air, and we have the dryer, the blasting pot, and the operator is doing the job. Excuse me, but on the other side, you have the air, this blue hose. In this case, the contractor decided to use the compressor not only for the process, but also to provide air to the operator. Mm-hmm. So when you do that, you have to keep in mind that many contaminants could get into the air from the compressor. So you must use a filter to make sure that anything that is in it will be removed, right? Mm-hmm. There are some gases that you cannot remove at all. They keep going with the air, like the CO. How do you say that? The monoxide carbon, right?
Mm-hmm. Carbon monoxide, yeah.
Carbon monoxide. So the carbon monoxide, it will go with the air, but then you have to install this kind of units that they don't clean it, but they will detect that big percentage of it, and then they will alarm the user that something is happening. So this is a typical installation, and obviously this guy is using a helmet, in this case a Bullard helmet, that is protecting him from many things. What happens in a blasting process? I don't know, Heidi, have you had the opportunity to be there where they are blasting right beside it?
I have never been in the field with a blasting.
And it is fun, but it's dangerous because you will have rebound of abrasive. You will have the noise is maybe more than 90 decibels. So yeah, it's quite high. And then any particle that is flying around could go into your ears, your eyes. So you must have the equipment that will protect you from it. So the best is to use this respirator, this helmet. They come with this hose that is feeding them good air. We call it air class D. That is the one that you need to breathe normally. Mm-hmm. And then with this kind of helmets, the operator is basically with the ventilation system working no problem. One thing I like about Bullard is that this helmet weighs a little bit more than 2.5 pounds. Mm-hmm. We have some others that they weigh up to 5 pounds. So that is what I promote in these cases for light helmets. And then you have also the blasting suit that will protect you from the rebound, and obviously your safety shoes and your gloves. So that's basically the PPE. This is one of the configurations. We have another one here that Jim is showing. So instead of installing a filter and the CO monitor, we have this box now, a new one. It comes with everything. So it has all the filters inside that will clean your air, and it has the CO monitor that will tell you what happens. And it comes with a screen that anyone is able to see anytime what is happening and tell the operator that everything is safe. And if the CO level is too high, it will sound an alarm and will stop the process. I don't know if you have another one there, Jim? Yeah. So this one is even better. So the contractor knows that his compressor is quite old and it can produce problems, right? So he said, okay, I'm going to install a pump. This one is an electrical pump that will take the air from the environment and will throw it to the operator. And if you show another one that you have maybe there, Jim, in cases where the air that you are sucking to with this pump and throwing to the operator, this one, you are not sure if that's safe, then you put this box here to make sure that you clean it, and in case you have any contaminant, we'll inform to people that something is happening. So those are basically the PPE solutions we have for surface preparation. For water jetting, things are similar. The difference is that you are working with 40,000 psi, so the protection for the whole body, your food, your hands, everything is with a special material called Kevlar. And then it's a special suit that you have to buy in case you are using water jetting.
Very good, very good. You know, in what a great stream we've had. Like I said, we could go on probably for 4 hours on the topics, and we've kind of scratched the surface on a lot of this. You know, in closing out the stream, Mauricio, is there anything that we did not talk about that you would want to leave with the viewers? Yeah, well, one of the things that we learned from the day number one when we start blasting experts was that we need professional education. For us, we were lucky to have the suppliers that they gave us basically a master degree, how to select and use nozzles, hoses, connectors, even connectors, Jim. You know how important is for you to choose the right connector in between your blasting pot and your hose. You can lose up to 2 psi if you select the wrong one. So we got the opportunity to learn all of those, how to select and use blasting pots and big machines. I don't know if you have the other video for the blaster. Maybe you don't. The blaster machine, the one that cleans tanks. Oh, yes. I apologize. Let me bring that up. Very good. Yeah. Actually, that's a great one to watch. Yeah, that one. Yeah. So we were able to learn from blasting nozzles up to robots. So, and it is great. This is one amazing technology that is available for big areas such as storage tanks, or if you have a big wall or a big vessel to clean. Then you can use, in this case, a steel shot, a machine that doesn't create any dust. With this one, you can do vertical or horizontal. You can do roofs on top, or you can do the floor as well. So all of these kind of units, we were lucky to get training, and we constantly get training from them of whatever they are changing. But for the rest of the people, that's the challenge. And that is why we got involved with SSPC 14 years ago. We are actually corporate members. And in my case, since I'm Colombian, and I know the industry in Colombia a little bit better than in some other countries, I was lucky to get the support from more than 40 professionals, people that they could be my grandparents. They have more than 40 years of experience in this business. But I told them about the opportunity to bring SSPC to Colombia, and they named me as the chair for SSPC Colombia, and we help people to understand and learn what is the mission for SSPC, what are the certifications available, and now with the merge with NACE, with AMP, people is very excited and really interested to take training, even though this is not new. And it's something funny. In Latin America, we are not maybe the best users for technology, but we like training. So I don't know, Jim, if you have seen it, but you go to Peru, Argentina, Brazil, Mexico, the amount of inspectors, the amount of people that really understand and know about it is amazing. So we promote for people to keep going and keep learning. And that's one of the things that, at SSPC, NACE, now AMP, we try to be involved and help. So that was one of the topics we didn't talk before, but that we like being involved with that as well. Yeah, when it comes to Latin America, there's so much change that's happening rapidly. And the nice thing that has happened over the last 5 years was the creation of the SSPC chapters across Latin America. And the membership is very passionate, both on the NACE side and SSPC side. And so there's a lot of great things that are going to be happening, obviously as AMP, obviously grows in different regions. But what I find really interesting is that the industries are starting now to really say we need to have a higher level of safety, a higher level of quality, and we really want to improve the working conditions and the projects, the results of the projects as well. And so I do commend you, Mauricio, on that, and everyone in Latin America, especially with the chapters and sections, for the hard work that everyone's doing. It's all volunteer work, and you guys are doing an awesome job.
Yeah, and as you can see, you have seen the gym. A lot of people, they want to help. You know that we have the chapter in Mexico, Panama, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, Argentina, Brazil. People in Chile is talking that they want to have a chapter as well. And that's SSPC. NACE, they have as well in those countries and some others. So yeah, great opportunities for the program, the quality, the QP programs. We are really looking forward to learn more about it in every single country. And yeah, do good things with you, Jim.
Great. Mauricio, thank you so much for the opportunity today to have this conversation.
No, thank you guys. Heidi, for the big questions. And let's do the test for Heidi.
Yeah, we're going to have to put a quiz together.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, guys. I really enjoyed this. And yeah.
So Heidi, do you learn some new things today, Heidi?
I actually learned a lot. Was certainly more system based. I work specifically in pipeline integrity. So the tanks, I was looking for that video, but I learned a lot. Yes. And I think we should have you on again.
No, absolutely. Always available for you guys.
Thank you.
Definitely. And Heidi.